Good evening. Welcome to the show tonight. This is, of course, Discovery Paranormal. And on this show, you're going to discover the paranormal. What is going on out there in this crazy, horrible, negative type of world? A lot of empaths reaching out to me. I must be the bastion of empathedness, man, and people ask me my advice. You ask me my advice, and I'm crazy. So, get what you get. You get what you get. All I'm going to say is that these are tough times, and every angle, everything. You're coming out of one COVID crisis, going into another COVID crisis. You got a war going on. This Putin, it's not even a war. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I see what they're doing. It's not a war. It's unbelievable what's happening, and it, you need to save yourself. That's what you can pray, you can hope, you can do all that stuff, and you know what? Maybe 50% of the time you'll get what you get out of it. Maybe 50% of the time that you won't. It's a mixed bag, prayers in general. I've had religious people basically preaching to me this week somehow. They all want to tell you they're the truth. They have the truth. It's the truth that they have written by somebody else. And of course, when you start to dig a little bit, they flip out because they can't back up their spiel. They just can't. You start asking intelligent questions, and they're like, bah, you're the devil. They run away. They run away and go hide. I know I used to look out my kitchen window sometimes. I'd be doing the dishes, and I'd see those Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses run past my house like it was a 100-meter dash. They didn't want to talk to me again. One time they were walking past, I actually walked outside and snagged them. Hey guys, come here. I want to talk to you about your BS. I got time. Got a few minutes to spare. So yeah, you just protect yourself. The images that are on television can give you PTSD. There's stuff that you don't even want your kids to see that shit for sure. It's not something they need to understand at this point. They put a lot on kids these days. They put a lot of sexual stuff on kids these days, and because of cell phones and computers, children have entered an adult world that's not under control for them. So this is this is a heaviness that they don't need to bear. These atrocities going on. So if you are an empath, there's regular old people. I like to think that everybody's sensitive on some level, and empaths are very sensitive people who can really pick up the vibe and feel the energy, and writhing around in pain sometimes in bed in the middle of the night. You feel these vibes, and they just hit you, and that's like the worst time when you're sleeping, is your defenses are low. You're just out there, and that's that tender time when, especially when you wake up, that twilight, when you wake up, and I just feel like anything can get you at that point, unless you really can push it off, push it off, push them off. So let's talk about, before we talk about shielding techniques, because I'm going to go over 9 shielding techniques from, and this is gathered from empaths around the world that have been empaths that understand how to shut it off, right? 9 shielding techniques. Okay. But first, we're going to talk about science and physicists. So physicists explain how the brain might connect to the quantum realm. Now, when you read a sentence, you have to examine the sentence. If there's a might, a may, or a could, or any of those things in there, it doesn't really, it's not firm on it, is it? Let's say it is definitely, this is it. It might gives you room for error. It gives them room for error, so these scientists can get more grant money, so they will go forward. Not that they may or could. They also could be working at 7-Eleven if people don't believe in what they do. So there's an open question in science. There's a lot of open questions in science, especially physics. A lot of it has to do with the paranormal world, and usually if you run into I'm going to call a standard in the box, out of the box scientist, somebody who doesn't have an open mind, somebody who usually follows other people's work and tries to improve on it and make a name for themselves that way. Uh, but not someone who's looking to go and explore, go beyond the realm, go beyond outside the box, outside your skull. Understand that there's more out there, that people are just fancy monkeys and not uh, the center of the universe, like their religion preaches to them that they are, that they're overly important to something that they're not. They're overly important to a system that takes that money. If there was no money in the equation, I'd like to see what these religious people pull, because it's all usually just power and control. No matter which, pick one, right? So, all right. So these scientists, these guys, they claim that the brain's neuronal systems forms an intricate network that the consciousness this produces should obey the rules of quantum mechanics, right? You would think, if we're in a quantum world, you know, there's macro physics, there's microphysics. Microphysics is also quantum physics, right? So, and I have a theory that there's a world bigger than ours. I think that there's lots and lots, as a matter of fact, bigger and smaller. So we could talk about that for days. But anyway, so this theory that determines how tiny particles like electrons move around, uh, these scientists argue, could explain the mysterious complexity of human consciousness. It's long believed that people are connected, that we all have that pineal gland. The pineal gland is in psychic terms, we call it the third eye. It has a lot to do with body control in our physical, if you want to look at the science part of it. But we can say that in these situations where, like, let's say you have twins, and they're two different places far apart. One twin has some kind of health issue, befalls some kind of negativity, some terrible thing happens. The other one feels it. There's no scientific explanation why that connection exists. Just like, moms who worry about their kids. Middle of the night they wake up flipping out that something's wrong, and something is wrong. These connections, right? So I heard that happen to Will Smith's mom just last week. That she was just sitting there minding her own business, and all of a sudden she felt a slap and she jumped out of her chair. Very weird. Very interesting psychic connections, man. So Penrose and Hammerhoff, these scientists, they met with the different scorn of science, because when these guys come out and say anything like this, they get crap for it, by others who are like, "Oh my God, discredit them. I want their grant money. They shouldn't have any." That's exactly why you follow the money, right? So, quantum mechanical laws are usually only found to apply at very low temperatures. Quantum computers, for example, currently operate at 272 minus Celsius. At higher temperatures, classical mechanics take over. So, to create that through machinery, that's what you have to do, right? But what about the brain? What about the neural network? What about that energy that flows around? So now our bodies work at room temperature. So you'd expect it to be governed by classic law of physics, right? So for this reason, the quantum consciousness theory was always dismissed, by all these scientists, because others had to say, "Oh no, 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 it's got to be this way and only this way." You see, you put yourself in a box like that, So instead of entering into any kind of debate with these people, I don't like that. Debates are okay, I guess, but if it turns into argument, you can have it, and there's no point of arguing that. Like the people, which came first, the chicken or the egg? They'll never understand. even even to ask that question, you don't understand. So so the brain is composed of cells called neurons, and their combined activities believed to generate your consciousness, right? What you are, things you like, things you don't like, and then the things you experience get recorded in your brain, not exactly the same as it happened, maybe. Maybe your brain records it differently. There's a lot of people that say the older people get, the less they remember because, you know, the things change in their brain or they remember things differently, completely differently. I've experienced that with people, you know, that how I remembered things exactly how they were, and corroborated by other people. These people didn't remember that at all, or chose to ignore it. Especially if they're bad memories. And a lot of people don't want to think about that, right? Which is good. You should push those bad memories out, or not kind of harp on them, because that's, as an empath, that's something that's going to bring that energy out and drag you down. So, but all right, I'm not going to get into the science of the brain because we don't need to. But what I'm going to get into is, let's just say that the brain and the universe have a lot of similarities, right? And and I don't know, maybe I should get more into this. Quantum consciousness. We'll just talk about that. Okay, so we're not able to measure the behavior of quantum fractals in the brain, right? Advanced technology means we can now measure quantum fractals in the lab, though. And in recent research involving scanning, tunneling, microscope, these guys and their colleagues carefully arranged electrons in a fractal pattern, creating a quantum fractal. All right, I'm going to get past this because this is the stuff that I'm into. But all right, I'm just going to sum it up like this. They feel mathematically, and there's a unification of physics that go on. Obviously, it's going to happen. Nothing. If you think that the macro world and the micro world are separated, then you don't understand. One relies on the other, you know, and they act exactly differently, opposite. The micro world is exactly the opposite of the macro world. So, but in all of this science, they're just starting to tap on the keys of the piano to understand where their proper notes are, you know? So these guys are moving towards the unification of physics, mathematics, biology, and also psychic, that type of world. And then for years, you couldn't do this. This was heresy. If you come out as a scientist, you talk about anything psychic, it's you were flushed out of the system, discredited, and these guys live on their grant money. So then you're the guy writing the book, and then people don't believe in what you say or what you do, which has held back the paranormal world for a very long time. Still on television, on the news, you see these puppet heads when they have to mention the word UFO or whatever. Just say UFO. You see that there's one guy, you know talking about how the Nimitz had these encounters with unidentified flying objects that were following them, flying around, all different types of shapes, floating above the deck. This is a freaking aircraft carrier that has a complement of ships around it to protect it. They didn't fire a missile or nothing. This is an unbelievable event. The dude on Fox News, anyway, when he said UFO, it looks like an 8-year-old saying the word vagina. He made a dumb face and because they're idiots. They're idiots. All of them. CNN, MSNBC. I want my own news channel, right? And I'm going to take all these musicians who are famous, who are sitting around doing nothing right now, and I'm going to make them all the anchormen. David Lee Roth, anchor at 8 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? Come on. You got to have, because these guys know more than any of these other people. The rock star has been there and done that more than once. I want the rock star news. Anyway, so, so this is the problem. Just the other day, there was a report that came out on how two balls of light were following another Navy ship and kind of swooping around and whatever. And these guys thought it was part of their training, some anti-drone technology that they were training on. They launched the anti-drone technology. The drone just flew off and did nothing because the two objects had no heat trail. They had no heat signature. They couldn't lock onto them. They could only just see them visually, and they were moving around and flying around and bopping up and down, swooping around, observing them. But why? Why though? Why do you think that they're observing our military? There's something there that I mean, 90% of it's not good. You know what I mean? I was, that show, that movie, Independence Day. Will Smith. I'm kind of on a Will Smith kick these days. I like watching him slap people. I'm getting into a thing. I think they should hire the guy to go into every award ceremony and slap the shit out of somebody who's there. I think they, yeah, I would tune in for that. There's a lot of people. People aren't so shocked about Chris Rock because a lot of people want to slap. He kind of did what a lot of people want to. Anyway, so I was watching Independence Day. And it's a movie, it's stupid and all whatever. In the beginning, of course, when these aliens made their move, they parked these gigantic ships off of every city around the world without any kind of communication. And this to me is like people talking about what's Putin going to do, or like they don't have it in their head to understand what the hell's going on when it's happening. It's frustrating, really frustrating. So, of course, the movie Randy Quaid saved the world. Randy Quaid, he can't even get back into America. Well, he got banned. He went to Canada. I think he had to. I don't know. He was in that one movie, Chevy Chase. Christmas Vacation, right? And then he was in a couple of them, I guess, for Chevy Chase. But he played like a real loser type guy, and down on his luck all the time, just messed up. Nice guy, but messed up, and that's kind of how he is in real life. I don't think the movie is too far fetched. Plus, crazy, like the guy was wacky. And then I guess he had rented out a mansion with his wife, and then they didn't pay the bill, and then he went to Canada saying that he was tired of America, but they really went to Canada to avoid paying their bills, and then Canada kicked him out. Well, Canada kicks you out, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, man. Mexico won't even take you after that. you know your best bet after that is maybe Sweden, maybe. Anyway, there's people out there who are like that. Yes, sometimes you have to be like that. I guess if it's what your core personality is, that's what was written on your hard drive, man. So, how do you protect yourself? This is the real question in this world of negativity, world of psychic attack, and world of just every time you wake up, the news is bad, and there's no ray of sunshine. The morale of the world is very low because of this, and it's not healthy. It's not good. But there's things that you can do as an empath, as a sensitive person, or even if you're not so sensitive, even if about you're being bothered anyway. I mean, these are techniques that are good to offset the energy that is right. So, shielding techniques. So you don't want a sensory overload when you're an empath, and this can make you feel fatigued, constantly worried, overwhelmed, depressed. Sometimes it could be difficult to separate your own emotions from others because while you're flipping out, they're flipping out, everyone else is flipping out, and then when they flip out, some people do terrible things, and you'll see that in the news, and that's not good either. So you need to control that and really just keep it away. I mean, there's only so much you can do. You yourself, you're not going to change these events. You're not going to stop them from happening. These things have to play themselves out. We don't work in that pay grade. We don't get paid to make those decisions. You know, so the only thing you could do is observe. And I think that there's a point where you know enough that you don't have to go any further. That there's no going back after that point. Like for Russia, there's no going back. Nobody will ever look at them the same. They were trying to enter the world in that commercial marketplace and whatever the reason that turned around completely. And this is where they're at. There's things that have been done that cannot be undone, and that's just something all those people are going to have to live with, die with, or understand. But you yourself, you shield yourself, and people are worried. I got friends in the city worried about nuclear war. Friends in D.C., places like that, other coastal areas. People who are inland. What if they do this? What if they do that? Yeah, you live your life by what if. You can't do that. What if anything? What if you have a heart attack 3 seconds from now? What if anything? So you live life. That's it. And then you try to have some kind of happiness in there, right? So shielding is self-care, and it's beneficial to you and those around you. So when you're absorbing the negative influence of others, if you shield, you can shield all around you too. I mean, if you know how to do it, what to do. So, but practicing shielding techniques regularly will also assist you in finding the inner stability that will help you to learn to control your abilities. Period. Psychic John Edward, right? This dude, I remember watching him in an interview where he said that it was very hard initially to shut it off, to turn it off, and he'd be awake in the middle of the night, talking to have dead people talking to him, and it got, as you do it, it gets stronger and stronger. My friend Pete and I started doing paranormal investigations. We had a medium that we knew. She was old time, and she's like, the more you do it, the more you're going to be in that world, the more it's going to come through. So she was absolutely right. And it's also what we wanted, so sometimes things are right. Sometimes things are just right. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people who believe in crystals. Now, crystals are deep energy, earth objects. They have been put together because of pressure, other things, other elements, and then here they are. People are digging them up, robbing the earth of their treasures, digging up those crystals. The ones that make me laugh the most are the skull crystals. They're like the skull crystal, the magic skull crystal. Oh my god! Keep in mind, even if you're sitting there running your mouth right now, I have a skull crystal. Oh, I know this and I know that. I know this. They made of glass, and they're not made. Even if they're made of any kind of crystal, and someone blow torched it together, these things. There was never a crystal skull found in any archaeological dig ever. They came about in the late 1800s in the souvenir shops on the corners in Mexico and then South America, and then people started picking them up. Right? They thought that was the only one. Meanwhile, they probably had a whole closet full of them. So, but crystals, I think that if you believe the energy is good, you can absorb that energy, right? So, but crystals supposedly work to absorb negative energies from their surroundings, so they make the perfect shields for empaths. If you believe in it, belief goes a long way because the energy that we're talking about is not like you can look at crystal like kind of a battery. It's like I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just not what people think it is sometimes. The dream catchers, if they catch dreams, they don't. It's an object, or the people that smudge their houses, with herbs or whatever they light on fire, or like sage and that type of thing. They burn sage and they do that. If you believe in it, that's the power, you know, not the object itself and not even the ritual necessarily. It's your belief, right? Your belief. That's the power. So, anyway, so, and crystals also, they're nice to have around. They're pretty, they're really cool. You know, I wouldn't be using them necessarily for as a verbatim. If you want to use them for good luck and put that in there, that's beautiful, man. So, and I'll go through the different types. You got black tourmaline, right? Tourmaline, considered to be one of the best crystals for empaths to use during, to its powerful ability to absorb electromagnetic frequencies from its surrounding environment. You got to pull in those electromagnetic. You could also sit a little tent of aluminum. Those people who wear aluminum hats. That's funny, man. Aluminum actually does. I'll explain aluminum, what it does. Aluminum will route other radio waves around an object and not let it penetrate it. So let's say you had a wallet, fully surrounded by aluminum foil, and someone tried to scan your cards or something. They wouldn't be able to do it because they wouldn't be able to get through. The scan would just go around. Anyway, that's why people wear aluminum hats. That's not going to help them. So amethyst. People love amethyst, beautiful purple crystal, right? And supposedly it repels negative energy and invites positive energy in. It's also incredibly efficient at increasing your psychic ability. Wow. Got to sit on that batch of amethyst. Yeah. Citrine. This is an incredibly positive stone. It's been linked to pure sunlight. The crystal will balance your emotions, increase confidence. You can go online and buy like a bracelet or even necklace of all of these stones. People have put them together if you really want it. So, obsidian, this stone has a very powerful protective energy that can help to repair your aura after it's been damaged by negative influences and feelings. Once you're healed, the stone will act as a strong shield to stop any other negativity from entering. Black jade. This crystal helps to connect you with your intuition to make you more aware of negative people and situations. I'm pretty aware. I had a crash course. Pyrite. Pyrite is also known as fool's gold because of how it looks, because it kind of looks like gold. It has a calming effect on the body and the mind. Not the people that find it out in nature and they think it's gold. How many millions of people did that, man, over the years, They think, oh, man, it's gold. Nope. Nope. So let's see. Smithsonite. Smithsonite helps you relax and calm you after a hectic day, kind of like herbal tea, a little bit, And clear quartz. Clear quartz will shield you from negative energies and attract positive energy. So, and quartz, of course, is famous for quartzes. They use the stone in watches and that type of thing because when you apply electricity to it, it keeps an even, even electric pulse, we'll say. So they were able to use that to make the watch. Anyway, so shielding using herbs and plants, right? Just like crystals, certain herbs and plants can have protective properties and can assist you. Especially, see, plants are good. The energy's good, and it also helps you nutrition wise when you eat some plants, which is nice. But the stronger your body is, also it helps your mind, body, soul. You know what I mean? If your body is weak and diseased, you don't think that affects you negatively. Other places, of course, it does. So anyway, St. John's wort. This herb has been used for hundreds of years to provide protection from evil forces. It works as a calming agent, which also makes it a great herb to kind of relieve symptoms of depression, anxiety, and such, which are common in empaths. Drink it in a warming tea or take St. John's wort capsules, which can be purchased from a variety of stores and health shops. I'm not going to get on my soapbox about vitamins, but let's just say you should be getting your vitamins from the food and not from pills. Anyway, rose. Have some rose. This plant has been viewed as highly sacred throughout its history. Aside from its natural beauty, the plant can be a powerful medicine for your heart. It is both soothing and calming when used as an essential oil, which will help you feel more self assured and relaxed in everyday life. If you get those organic roses, be sure there's no pesticides, nothing going on. You take those roses and dip them in chocolate, man. Chocolate roses. Chocolate goes with everything, doesn't it? it's a magical superfood. All right, lemon balm. All right, an extremely positive plant that will lift your spirits, just like a bright summer's day. Use this herb in a relaxing herbal tea, or add it to your dinners when you're feeling overwhelmed or down. See, I like that. I like anything lemon, lemony, lemon, lemon, lemon. There was a what was it? It's a florist shop, but the florist shop had a greenhouse, and I used to go in there in the winter. Dark, dank, upstate New York winters as they are. I would go in there, and they had a huge lemon tree, beautiful, big lemons and whatever, kinds of signs around there that cut your fingers off if you touch any lemons, type of thing. But you know, just nice to be around it, to smell it, and it kind of being that whole thing. It lifts you up, man. Anything that lifts you up, as long as it's legal and doesn't hurt anybody. But those things that lift you up is good. All right. Okay, shielding using visualization. The visualization is very important no matter what you do, whether it's your job, whether it's a mental dress rehearsal before you go on stage, if you're a comedian or some kind of actor or a musician or whatever you do, man. And maybe you're proposing, you know, to that box of pizza in front of you to marry you. You know what I mean? Pizza, pizza, I love you so much. And will you marry me? Yeah. Visualize what you want. And we just talked about visualization techniques. As a matter of fact, I said on the air that I was going to go. I was going to go to Vegas and have like a workshop and teach people how to use like like these scene techniques. Like I said that all of a sudden there are people like, when are you coming? Where is this shop going to be? Blah. Gamblers, gamblers. But yeah, I do believe that anybody can learn these techniques, and it's been proven, that people can learn these different techniques. So I think that especially the world of remote viewing, if it's a feeling, isn't it? It's not even something. Some people, yeah, some people see it in their head in their third eye. You know, to me, it's more of a feeling. And it's not exactly the numbers that come up. It's more of the realm of time and space, and I don't know, the feeling. Anyway, oh, what a feeling. So okay, visualization. So visualization shielding is a very effective way to protect yourselves from horrible outside influences. It could take a little practice, so it might take a little longer, but the simplest. I'll be I'll be at the MGM Grand with those remote viewing techniques for y'all. They'll throw me out, man. You know what? Casinos get crazy about stuff like that. I'll be beaten up, dump me in the alleyway or something. We don't want your visualization techniques here, boy. Get out. Get, get out. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yeah. All right. Anyway, the simplest version of visualization for protection is to close your eyes and imagine a bright white light surrounding you. Now, I like that, and it works. And like when Pete and I leave a haunted location, we surround ourselves with white light. And I imagine the white light going through me, inside of me, around all my cells, parts, whatever, everywhere, man. And just kind of spiral around me like a tornado, and flow out from there around the car, around whatever who's around us. That deal. And this is important, man. This is how weird things get. Uh, so we had done this one place called the Erie Mansion, and there was a serial killer that had lived there and then eventually died there, hanging himself because he was going to get busted, and the guy had killed a lot of people. So it was an ongoing thing. And we had been there a few times. We even did like a Halloween night there, and brought people through and showed them stuff, which was cool. I mean, it was fun having the large group of people, you know, and watching their reactions. But I'm not really into the whole Walmart paranormal, get everybody together type attitude. Where, like, to me, it's more science and learning anyway. Anyway, so this dude, we did a what we call a crossing. Some people might call it a seance, But to me, I was attempting to have these mediums that we had there, the three of them, cross people over, spirits that were trapped, that we had captured on audio, had other pictures and other types of situations and all kinds of situations of communication, and this one dude, Bill Ely, the serial killer, was still there. Big 12,000 square foot mansion, huge place. Then the guy who owns it, who's a friend of mine, goes and buys all these antiques from around the world, and then just loads the place up. He didn't even want the place. It's funny. He's driving past. There was some burned out building. It was a tenement at one time. They divided it up into apartments, and he just got pulled in. Didn't even know why. And he fit. He looks like he belongs there. He looks like a dude from the 1800s, but he fit, man. Although he himself says there's not one cozy spot in that whole 12,000 square feet. Not one cozy spot. Anyway, so we had been there a few times, and after we did this crossing, this the person I was with was having dreams about this dude, and he's like out trying to get in and asking to come in. It's even the paranormal should put me down over it a million times. Like, it's stupid, whatever. You hear that stuff, and that's just people rejecting knowledge, is what it is. Or rejecting exploration. But it's interesting that that's how that happened, and she was able to describe him where she had never seen the guy. I actually know what he looks like. The guy who owned the mansion had a picture of him, and we captured his image in a window, in a reflection of a window glass, which is interesting. So anyway, if you don't shield yourself, they'll go after the people you love. They'll go after people that you care about. You know, I mean, it's just interesting how it happened like that. So, visualization important, getting that white light around you important, and surrounding other people that you think that might be vulnerable with white light, right? So anyway, okay, you got that down pat. And even if you get it done, you say, "I am the light," or you can toss the F word in there too. I am the effing light. Put some Samuel Jackson on that. On that, I'm the effing light. Get away from me. Kick your ass. Kick your ass back into non-existence. All right. I am. I am the light. I don't know. Psychic Cindy Thompson, who's joined us for investigations, she says it's the golden light, man. She likes. I like that angle on it too. She uses the golden light. That's cool. So anyway, here we go. Shielding using mantra meditation. Okay. You say, Michael, what's mantra meditation? All right. Mantra meditation is a fantastic way for you to prioritize yourself above all others, which is particularly important for empaths, because empaths are usually kind of the rug that people wipe their feet on walking through the door. Unfortunately, they take your kindness and niceness as weakness, right? So the good thing about mantras is that they don't take too long to do, yet they can have a powerful effect on the mind. Plus, chanting mantras also creates powerful vibrations throughout your body that can have a cleansing effect on your energy. I really like to do the see, to me, it sounds. You can have a thing that you say, a mantra or whatever, Some people find that mantras work better if you just sit down in a quiet room. However, once you get the hang of it and perform your short mantras in the head wherever you are, you can either chant traditional mantras, if they speak, or just kind of the om or sat nam, meaning truth is my identity. Sat nam, mother effing sat nam. That's my Samuel Jackson. Sat nam, or make up your own, such as I am powerful and I am loved. Let your do that. Let your neighbors hear that shit. It's like, oh, my neighbor's about to my my neighbor's pop up timer's about to go. Stick a fork in it. They're done. I am powerful. I am the light. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, shut the light off and go to sleep. shut, shut up with that. Okay, I gotta sleep. So you know what I like to do? I like the sound waves. I like the sound effects. I like to play with different things like that. But when you're in the shower, especially if it's an echoey type of environment, man, that's like the best. And then you can really hit those tones that you can feel it and really feel the energy flowing around. It's just cool to do. Like to do that in tunnels, any kind of walking tunnel. You'll find me going, oh. You'll see people not entering the tunnel while I'm in there doing it. And there's one on Long Island. There's a parking lot at Jones Beach, and it connects. You have to walk under the highway to get to the beach, out to the beach. So anyone who ever goes into that tunnel, anybody ever, I don't care who you are, I don't care what age you are, I don't care how big, small you are, anybody has to make a noise going through there because it is so acoustic, so echoey, so awesome, man. That's where you go. That echoes. I love it. How about this? Shielding through relaxation. You ever figure that out? When you relax your body, all stored up energy tends to fade away. It was my mom who taught me how to meditate to begin with. She was very much into that holistic type of stuff and very much into the health food stores when we were young. Not overly, but enough. You know what I mean? Would never use aluminum, no aluminum appliances or anything like that. No pots or pans. Aluminum wouldn't even let me drink out of aluminum cans because it's a deadly neurotoxin. Actually, well, it's a neurotoxin. Whether you want to decide whether it's deadly or not is up to you. But it can mess you up. Put it that way. All right. But relaxation techniques like meditating, when you relax your body, you'll start up negativity, tends to fade away. The first step of relaxation is to get in touch with your body. Once there, you can start consciously to relax your muscles while practicing deep conscious breathing. You put a song. When I think of you, I touch myself. Oh wow. I can't remember this stupid song. I remember I touch myself. Yeah. Remember, the more relaxed you are, the more you release. So you have to stop thinking. You got to just see the blackness. You got to shut it off, man. Or if you need techniques, visualization techniques, as you're trying to do that, it's the colors, man. The colors. My mom used to say, imagine the air going in and out of your lungs as you're breathing. There's colors. All these colors are flowing in and out, colors and more colors. It's beautiful to think about that and see that visualization, and it really helps you. So yeah, it's funny because later on when I got into heavy martial arts and I got into other types of meditation, it all has roots in the stuff that my mom taught me. So just thinking about that. So all right, you definitely want to be able to be relaxed. And lavender is a good choice if you have essential oils or whatever. It's nice, it's nice to have essential oils, nice to have some incense, things like that could be really cool and beneficial to you, to help smoke. I don't know, there's like when I, do my martial art workouts, in my garage. I always had incense going, but it was more of an open air environment. It wasn't like you're stuck inside of a room, and inside it could be a little noxious. And it's not really good to breathe that type of air, but the oils, that's a little different, especially, you have a little burner and you put the couple drops of oil in. Could be very nice for you to stink up your environment with something that smells better than what it normally smells like. So, shielding through grounding with Mother Nature. There was we did a show investigation. Uh, Man, what the hell was it called? The Taylor House. Yeah, and one of the mediums that we had, she got she got attached to something. Something attached herself. We were trying to contact this kid that he had told us his name is Cahill. We had got him on Class A EVP when Pete and I were in there. This kid's like talking to us, and so we're going back into that area, and all of a sudden she's like, "Arr, arr," she starts acting all weird. By the way, I mean, this is actually online. You don't have to take my word for it. You can go to youtube.com/, Discovery Paranormal, all one word, Discovery Paranormal, and it's the Taylor House is in there. Taylor House, I think it's called a Redux or something, 'cause so much stuff happened to us there. But so she's all of a sudden like had this crazy wide eyes, and keep in mind it's dark in there. Pete's got a red light on his head. I got a red light on my head, and plus I have the camera, which I can see the screen, which is infrared, so it brightens it up. All of a sudden she's like, "That little boy not going anywhere. Staying right in his room." I was like, "What? What?" And she starts flipping. Then she was like fighting this thing. Like, then she's like, "Oh, I gotta get out of here." And she almost fell down the stairs, man. That was quite a ways down. And that was even more creepy because someone had fallen down the stairs and died there, like a young girl. And we actually got a picture of her in the entranceway. Cindy Thompson. As soon as I brought her into that house, she didn't know the house. She didn't know the history. She didn't know us. I met her a couple days earlier at a psychic fair in Auburn, New York. And I invited her. Just I like to have people like that come along to see what they get, how they react, all that other stuff. And as soon as she walked in, she's like, somebody fell off the banister and they died. They died right here. A young girl. Yeah, she just was on it, man. Like from the time that she walked in the door, and we had three mediums with us that night. Very very good at what they did. I mean, so I don't know, but anyways, the shielding through the grounding. So after Tammy started flipping, she I told Pete, because Pete was over by the stairs, so like blocked the stairs, so she can't go down the stairs because she was like running, and didn't know, really was disoriented. It was kind of dark still. But at that point, we were putting lights on, just flashlights and whatever, so people could see their way. And there's an attic. She tries going up into the attic, getting out of the house, which is weird. But then Pete brought her outside. I look out the window. I stayed inside with Cindy and her daughter. They were the only ones who stayed with me, and I was challenging this entity and what it was doing. So they went outside. I look out the window and I see Tammy on the ground rolling around in the dirt. And Cindy was like, "That's a great grounding technique, is that you take your shoes off and go into the dirt and start feeling the earth, because it's electricity, right? I mean, think about it. What gets on you is electric. When people say they feel that spider web feeling on their face, but there's no spider web, that's electric. And the readings that we get off of our scientific electric equipment are electric readings, coming from being stimulated from beyond, from something, right? Not from anything natural that's around us. So anyway, all right. So good. You go outside, find a nice spot in the grass, take your shoes and socks off, make sure there's no dog do there, and walk around, man. You are set. You're set. Shielding by wearing a protection necklace or bracelet. Remember, I talked earlier about all those stones. So just holding a crystal to cleanse you. Consider wearing a crystal pendant. What about like a bathtub out of amethyst? I was watching this thing and they had these huge, huge amethyst, like gigantic. bigger than me. I'm 6'5". I mean, like, and I was like, you can cut that in half, and that'd be 2 tubs right there. So they're like 40 grand, whatever. But I don't know if you're a rich bastard and you got golden toilet paper holders. Maybe you want an amethyst bath. Might be a little abrasive on your bum. You know what I mean? But just cool, just cool looking, man. Anyway, so yeah, you can wear that necklace, pendant, whatever you put into it. There's also a good reason not to buy used jewelry because you don't know where it came from unless you know where it came from. But you don't want the energy of somebody else because people wearing that all the time and experiencing different stuff. I'm a firm believer that energy can transfer between things and even kind of hold the imprint. Like I collect things that have been in earthquakes, actually chime bowls specifically. So I look for these chime bowls that are from like Tibet or places like that, that have been in major earthquakes because I feel like they themselves record the data, the math in the earthquake. I don't know. There's a lot to be said. If you know what recording really is and holding a magnetic imprint, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, anyways, shielding through veiling. Veiling is simply the act of using a head covering as the active additional shield from negative energies. They only get married, I guess. Shielding through smudging, I about that already, and shielding through self reflection. Yeah, reflect on yourself, but don't be hard on yourself, man. Remember the good moments, the good times, savor the memories, bring out the good. That's part of neurological linguistic programming is bringing out the good and throwing away the bad and squelching out the bad, and training your brain to do that so you don't harp on all kinds of negative stuff. So you want to find the source. Find the source, right? Use the force, man. The mother effing force, man. So when you're really drained, you go over your day. You think about the moments where you could have switched things around too, and or if there's a certain person who drains you, and that I mean we've all been through that in life, I'm sure. So it's just you are the one who are in control of yourself. Nobody should control your own emotions. Nobody. So I'm going to end the show on that note. On a high note, high. They want to use Eddie Murphy to do the George Clinton movie. Eddie Murphy, really? Eddie Murphy has no business being George Clinton. I'm going to leave that right there. I will see you guys next week on Discovery Paranormal with some more music stuff and more rants on things or whatever. Be safe, be safe, be safe. Watch out for yourself. When in doubt, get out and use these techniques. Shield off the world and shut that goddamn news off sometimes. I'll see you guys next week. I love y'all. Bye.